Hello and welcome to Gaming is Therapy. This is episode number 73 of our fantasy EFL football, and it's time to reveal those teams. So before we kick off, I just want to say thank you for all the support to the channel, all the support during the season, all the feedback that you've been giving. It's absolutely fantastic and I really do appreciate it. In today's video, we're not just going to have my team, we're actually going to have 3 league members, channel subscriber teams as well, which I think is truly fantastic. So thank you for that. Let's not hang about. Let's crack on. And of course, we're going to start with my team. Now, given this is a bit of a strange game week, only 37 games are going to take place. 12 in the Championship, 13 in League 1, 12 in League 2. There's only 2 teams that are playing essentially their own double game week, which of course Wycombe and Rotherham. I expect Wycombe and Rotherham players to be in everybody's team, and it's going to be interesting to see what the different or the overflow players are going to be. So for me, as you can clearly see, we're going with Trafford in goal. I looked at the Wycombe goalkeeper, I looked at the Rotherham goalkeeper. Quite frankly, I'm just not convinced, and Burnley away to Swansea is a clean sheet in my opinion. They don't concede. Let's be honest, Trafford is just, it speaks for itself 100%. It's just an easy pick, 100% an easy pick. As you can see, I have gone for a couple of Rotherham players, Odafin and Powell, so a defender and a midfielder. I think these are the 2 most logical picks from Rotherham. I may be wrong, but for me, they look the most obvious picks, so I've gone with them, to be honest with you. The same with my Wycombe picks. I look at Taylor and I look at Cone up top, and for me, they're just the most obvious picks. I've actually given Taylor the captain's armband. I think his points to return ratio is slightly better than an alternative pick that you can have. I don't know. It's one of those, it's either going to work or it's going to fail. I'm quite happy. I was thinking about giving it to Gillespie because he's just phenomenal for Charlton, and he's obviously one of my alternative picks. Sticking him in the centre of defence, I'm hoping he's just going to have a solid game. Minimum of 100 points would be lovely. No, I would just like him to have a solid game. And then my final pick is Kayla Dunn. This is the one I'm not 100% sure about. Every week I have this issue. There's always a player I'm not 100% sure about. And the reason is Kayla Dunn wasn't in there 13 minutes ago. It was, of course, the one and only Jack Payne. Jack Payne is a fantastic little footballer. He contributes so much. Sometimes I don't think his contributions get the rewards they deserve, in the form of points that is, which is a little bit frustrating. So I'm still a little bit undecided by that one. I still might put Jack Payne back in there just because I truly love the man. I think he's phenomenal. And I also want to highlight I have not used my max chip. So that's enough for me about my team. Let's crack into the subscriber teams. And first up, we're going to go with Josh. So EFL Fantasy Josh, obviously Josh is his name, and as you may know, his wife also participates in the league, which is Waymaker, which is Amy Jones, so it's the Jones family. Now, wasn't there a movie with the Joneses? Weren't they both assassins? We're going to go with Josh's team first, and again, you can see the strong resemblance of Wycombe and Rotherham. It's a no-brainer. Also, Josh has not used his max chip, so in goal he's gone for Trafford. And his reasoning was quite simple for this one. He put Trafford speaks for itself. And he's hit the nail on the head. It truly does speak for itself. The guy is a machine. He's a fantastic goalkeeper. Josh's reasoning is quite simple. Wycombe and Rotherham are the only 2 teams doubling up. So it makes sense to pick both of them. Guarantee 6 points when they play each other. And they can both win the other game. The other games they've both got are actually winnable. So it's an interesting theory as well, and it's one that I think we're all backing, so I think it's a no-brainer. He's then gone on to say, with both heavily backed defences, as minutes are more reliable, clean sheets and clearance points more easy to predict than goals, and that is a very valid point. They are so easy to predict compared to goal scorers. Like, we've all fallen down the trap of Stevens. Look, Stevens is like Wooten at Stockport. On paper, look phenomenal. Difference between the 2 of them? Stevens can only seem to score at home. He's really poor away, never seems to offer a great amount. Wooten is just someone who's going to be a support player. He's going to help create, and he's not going to score a lot of goals. And in theory, he generally doesn't get a lot of assists. He's like the player who passes it to the assister. So on paper, they look fantastic, and they can at times win some heavy points. But overall, they're not a logical pick. And I've fallen into that trap with Stevens many times. So I can understand where he's coming from with the heavily backed defences. I think it makes logical sense. And as you can see, he's gone for Odafin as well from Rotherham. And then he's gone with 2 Wycombe. So he's gone with Lowe and Taylor. Now, Lowe and Taylor, very interesting. He's actually captained Lowe, where I've captained Taylor. So I'm going to be interested to see how that one pans out. Let's be honest, you're tossing a coin, you're splitting a hair. between the pair of them for who should be captain. So that'll be interesting to see. In the centre of the park, he's gone for Powell. Again, I think that's just a no-brainer. And he's gone for Gale, and I liked his reasoning for this one. So Gale, because of his consistency, which is always imperative with interceptions. Consistency with interceptions. That's a clever pick. That could be a really, really clever pick. And then, obviously, Stansfield, because he's a top striker against a poor side. Yes, they have got a relatively easy game. I would like to see Stansfield, this point in the season, up his game another level and, yeah, deliver some massive points. But again, so no max chip used, obviously, because there's only 37 games in this week. But that's Josh's team. Let us know what you think of Josh's team in the comment section down below. Who do you think at this moment in time, with the two teams you've seen, has got the edge? Would you say it's myself, or would you say it is Josh? I'm actually going to go with Josh because he's used 2 Wickham centre-backs and he's got Odafin. So I'm going to go with Josh at the moment. I think he's got the better opportunity for points than myself. So in the Battle of the Joneses, we're going to have Waymaker, Amy Jones next. As you will see clearly, 2 players have already played. They've earned 12 points. That is Twine and Maheti. That's Bristol City, who beat Norwich 2-1. That's moved them up to, I want to say, 5th in the league. Perhaps we'll do a video as it's getting to the end of the season, looking at all the leagues and who we think is going to win automatic playoffs and suffer the horrible and ghastly relegation. Let me know if that would interest you. It'd be great to get the feedback on that. That side, again, strong side. So Waymaker has gone with Phillips in goal, which is a Rotherham goalkeeper, and Odafin. So definitely backing the theory of heavily backed defences, as Josh said. And then she's also gone for Taylor and Lowe, captaining Taylor like my good self. So I'm hoping there's some logic there, and I'm hoping that Waymaker is going to be my good luck charm and we get some good points. As we know, the 2 lads from Bristol City have already playing. The only disappointment I'm going to have to say is Stevens. Has Waymaker fallen into the trap of Stevens, especially with Stevens playing away? Statistically, away from home, he's not very good. Now, I'm going to insert a disclaimer. Stevens will go and score a brace today just to mock me. It's going to be interesting. But yeah, it's just the way he's going to have a perfect week. You just watch. He will have an absolute banger of a week. But it's not. If you look at his statistics over the course of the season, it is what it is. Again, no max chip has been used. And that's the 3rd team. So who's going to win the Battle of the Joneses, most importantly? Do you think it's going to be Josh, or do you think it's going to be Waymaker? Let us know in that comment section below. Who's going to win the Battle of the Joneses? At this moment in time, I'll be honest, I'm sitting on the fence. I'm going to sit on the fence. I think I might make a prediction after the first games played for Rotherham and Wickham. But at this moment in time, I'm going to sit on the fence. I think the teams are both very logical. They've been built with a lot of thought process and a lot of reasoning as well. It's going to be interesting. Yeah, it's too tight to call, but please, comment section below, let me know who's going to win the Battle of the Joneses. And obviously, one final part with Waymaker's team. Waymaker, Amy, wanted to have Bristol City coverage as they had a must-win game. Of course, in the email it says tomorrow, which was yesterday, and these 2 players are the most likely to hopefully score. Now, as we know, Norwich did lose 2-1 to Bristol City at home. So, well, Bristol City were at home. I should have explained that one better. That was awful, John. But unfortunately, neither of them got on the score sheet. I think it was Sykes and Wells, and of course it was Sains for Norwich, and it was only really a consolation for Norwich. I mean, they scored in the 82nd minute. Bristol City had this wrapped up at half-time, being 2-0 up, and again, no max chip used. So we're going to move on to our final team of the episode, and this was submitted by Nate, or That Tastes Like Promotion. And again, solid picks. Wickham and Rotherham are the clubs. No max chip used. I think that's obvious. No one's going to be using their max chip this week. What have we gone with? So, in goal, he's gone with Sam Walker, the mighty Sam Walker. Used to play for Colchester United. Used to love that man. Used to love him. Used to sing about him all the time. He's in cracking form. He is a solid goalkeeper, and I think he'll keep a clean sheet against Tranmere. We've then got an interesting back line because we have Lowe, who he's captained, and we have Odafin, which is Rotherham, so Wickham and Rotherham. And he's gone for Clare from Birmingham. Again, they've got a nice game away, so I expect him to pick up some valuable points there. And the reasoning behind Lowe and being captain is Nate has put, he believes him to be the standout player, and the double game week helps, and of course the consistent playing time and consistent numbers that he delivers, which again is a logical, thought out process, which is fantastic to see. And it is going to be very interesting because I think a lot of people are going to captain Lowe and a lot of people are going to captain Taylor. So it's going to be interesting who's picked the right Taylor or Lowe from Wickham. I think that's definitely going to be interesting. Again, in the centre of park, he's gone for Powell, absolute no-brainer. He's also gone for Tyler Walton from Accrington Stanley as a sort of a differential. And he's picked him on the basis of last game week because he had a really good points return. But he's also said that he might consider changing him just in case, because there's a possibility he could be benched for a Woods or a Whitmarsh. So again, always thinking logically, always thinking with a process, which I think is fantastic, and it's the main base of why we love fantasy football. It gets your brain working, and for me at times I end up questioning myself because I go through so many different patterns and I'll come up with like 17 different teams, and then I'm like, oh, I've actually got to pick a team now. But that is the absolute fun of EFL fantasy football. That's why we love it. So up top, he's gone with, of course, King Kone from Wickham. He is so good when he starts. And of course, it's pretty non-negotiable because Wickham is his team. So yeah, I totally get that in a second in the table. Yes, no, I totally get that. So it's gone with King Kone. I can't see past him personally. Don't get me wrong, I think Stansfield is a cracking pick for Josh due to the game that they have. But I think with a double game, will the risk of Kone, which I've gone with, pay over having, or will it pay having that second Wickham player as a striker? I think it will. I look at the 2 games. I think he's going to score goals. I think he's going to score 2 goals in the double game week. I'm not bothered if it's 2 in one game or 1 in each game. I do think Wickham are going to win one game, maybe draw the other game. I don't know. I actually fancy him to win both games if I'm honest. But yeah, no, again, I'm getting carried away. So Nate has not also used his max chip, which of course is totally logical. Those are the 4 teams. Let's break it down into in the comment sections below. Who's going to win the Battle of the Joneses? Who's going to win the Battle of the Subscribers? And am I going to get any points this week? Big points. I need big points. I need to move up that table. Let us know in that comment section below. Thank you to everyone who submitted a team. Thank you to Josh, Amy and Nate. Really, really do appreciate it. If you haven't seen the video going through how we're going to do this process, I will link it in the comments below. And feel free to submit a team for game week 33, which we all know game week 33 is going to be a really interesting one for the simple fact there's only 26 games. Is it 26 games? Yes, 26 games. No championship games. 12 in League 1, 14 in League 2. It's going to be a very, very interesting game week. Again, it's going to be similar to this game week. Lots of people using very, very similar players. And it's going to be interesting to see who the differential players are to make the points. Anyway, I'm rambling. We'll leave it there. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you're enjoying the content. Hope you're enjoying seeing other people's teams from within the league. I think it adds a little bit more depth, and I think it's a bit of fun that we all enjoy. So, as always, I will catch you later.